One of the things we talked about on Sunday that I wanted to bring up again today is this whole idea of kind of changing rabbis. So again, I think to illustrate, when John the Baptist is first preaching, he says a number of things that clearly make it obvious that he is directing his disciples, the men that have committed their lives to basically being under his teaching. He's directing them to turn and to follow the Christ, who he calls the Lamb of God and the Christ and he who takes away the sins of the world. He gives Jesus all of these honorific titles. And so what does that mean for us here in the modern era? I think one of the things about being in the faith for a long time is we have a lot of different people and ideas that influence us over time. If you were a Christian at a younger age like I was, we had older brothers and sisters. Maybe it was someone in a position of campus leadership, or perhaps it was a married couple that took you under their wing when you were first newlyweds, or maybe it was a singles minister who showed a lot of interest in your spiritual growth. Maybe it's someone that you read. Perhaps, I read a lot of C.S. Lewis and other people like that, but maybe you came across a book or a series of books that really shaped the way that you express your faith or relate to Jesus. These are all really healthy things, right? Individual people that live a great example, someone that loves us deeply, a writer that touches our heart or sparks our creative energy. All of these things are important. And in many ways, they are like rabbis for us, right? They're things that influence the way we think and even the way we frame who we decide God is. But as a person who's been a Christian longer now myself, coming up on 40 years, I also know that as I grow and age, and as I have different challenges or as I gain deeper perspective on my own faith and how to apply it, I need new influences. I need to be open to fresh ways of thinking about God, not changing my basic beliefs, of course, but understanding that faith is more nuanced and there's so many things to learn about God, and being open to learning different ways to approach, for example, my prayer life, different ways to handle sin and discouragement, different ways to learn how to read my Bible. I mean, this is a big one, I think, and learning how to ask good questions and just basically being open to the whole idea of apprenticeship and discipleship to Christ, which is that I am a continual learner. I am always learning. And so one of the things I told our graduating seniors on Sunday, if you recall, was that they needed to, in some sense, leave their father and mother and learn to be influenced by other people in their life, campus leaders, other Christians, members in other sister congregations. This is very, very healthy. And it doesn't mean we're abandoning the things that we know, but we are adding to those things. And so I wanted to share a companion verse that I think will help us understand this a little bit better. Jesus, in speaking of the importance of continuing to grow, in Matthew 13, we find all of these parables of the kingdom, right? And, the mustard seed and the wheats and the tares and the fish and the treasure hidden in a field. We have this, book full of parables, or book full of kingdom parables here in Matthew 13. And at the end of all of these series of teachings, Jesus says in Matthew 13, in verse 51, "Have you understood all of these things?" Jesus asked. "Yes," they replied. "Therefore," he said, "every teacher of the law who has been instructed about the kingdom of heaven is like an owner of a house who brings out of his storeroom new treasures as well as old." And this is an amazing and poignant idea. And, Jesus is suggesting, I think, to his disciples that as he has come, he is bringing out of God's treasured storehouse new teachings, right? Not new teachings that abdicate the gospel message that we find in the Old Testament, but they enhance it. They're new treasures, and they're built on the foundation of the old ones. And Jesus is taking pains here to say, I think, two things. One, as that we need to continually seek God's kingdom, right? Seek the things of God's kingdom. That we need to be continually learning and trying to refocus and reframe the things that we have learned in light of the new ideas that come into our life. That these are things that we should become more deeply concerned about and more connected and more passionately in pursuit of as we grow old chronologically as disciples. And learning to just continually look for the rabbi, look for the nugget, look for the truth about God in a new way, in a new situation of our lives. And so continuing to be great students of the gospel, continuing to be great students of Jesus, even as we have read the Bible many times, or sat through many, many sermons, or many communions, or gone to many different workshops, but to continue to stretch ourselves, right? And to read a new book, to ask someone what they're learning about God, what's new in our lives, and adding those things to your arsenal of faith will help the gospel stay fresh and alive for you. And that is what I want for you. So I hope this has been helpful, and have a great week, and we'll see all of you in a few days on Sunday.